Good evening and welcome back to Ells Messages of Light. And if you're wondering why I've lit a candle, it's symbolic of this reading and the downloads I've been receiving from Spirit the last 2 days. So for all of you, if many of you follow me, or if you're new to the channel, I've been dealing with the passing of my dear mum in this last month, and we had the service on Halloween. So you know, the downloads have still been coming through in that time for me, but I've not been able to you know, come online obviously these last few days. But yeah, again today downloads coming through, and the message is clear from Spirit. Don't let others dim your light. So this is what the symbolic meaning of me lighting my candle, my handmade candle. You know, don't let others dim your light. And I also felt drawn to pulling a card for my When Women Had Wings, and this card came out. So alongside the message of don't let others dim your light, out of all the cards in, you know, the tarot deck, the sun came out. So Spirit has got a very, very clear message for us all. And it's all about not letting others dim your light. And this card is about embodying our truest expression. And it's all about, you know, not caring about what others say, not caring about what others think about you. It's all about confidence in self. And it's all about, you know, the confidence on your spiritual path too. And how beautiful is this card, you know? It's all about the light, this card. It's all about shining your unique self. It's all about bright colours, you know? It's all about shining out and not, you know, disappearing into the background, you know. It's about shining your light. And it speaks about, you know, just having clear clarity as well on your own path, you know, whether that's your own path in general life or your spiritual path. It's about that clarity, being sure, you know, of who you are. And it's about, you know, positive energy. You can see the positive energy coming through this card, you know, and the beautiful golden yellow colours and orange, bright sunshiny colours. And it's about, yeah, you know, attracting others as well through this energy, you know. When you give out good energy and you have the, you know, highest vibration energy, you know, shining through your soul, you attract, you know, yeah, it's like honey to, you know, to the bees, and you know, you just attract things to you. You attract good opportunities, you attract good business opportunities, you attract good people as well, good friends. You know, when you're in this energy, you cannot attract anything negative. It's all about attracting positive energy, you know, positive things into your life. When you shine like the sun, you know, and those rays, they say those rays, those golden rays come oozing out, you know, from your soul. That is what, you know, it shines to other people, you know. You start shining that out to other people. Yeah, you attract abundance and you achieve your goals as well, they're saying. And rewards come to you, you know. Because to get to this state as well, I'll just speak a bit about my journey. To get to this vibration where I'm actually living in my light, I'm not dimming that light for nobody anymore. Just because they don't understand what I understand, Just because they don't see, feel, you know, spirit the way I see and feel spirit, does not mean I don't get to live in my true authentic self, you know, my true light. And once you reach this vibration, the sun, you're all about the light. You know, there's no darkness that can get into you anymore. People's comments, people's views, that's not an ego thing. That's not a dismissive thing. You just don't care. You just know your light. You're in true form here. You are the light. You know, you are the light, and you bring that light to others, and you know that these rewards start coming into to you as well. You know, you start reaping the rewards of your path. You know, the work that you've put in, and yeah, you have genuine connection with people as well. You know, not just surface level, not just genuine connection, because you shine that bright. Anything other than genuine can't do anymore. You know, you see right through it, and your light's really bright. You know, so other people's genuineness have to match you. You know, you have to be on that same frequency, that match, and nothing else will do. You know, you won't settle for anything less, and that's not from an ego thing. That's just from, you know, knowing your light, and yeah, how shine you bright. You know, when you know your light, it means you're walking your path with complete authenticity. You don't hold back, you know, anything, you know, because of fear and judgment from others. You embrace your unique qualities, and you understand your uniqueness as well, you know, and you understand your uniqueness, although others might not understand it. You understand that the world needs this uniqueness, you know. The world needs different. The world needs to think more outside the box, you know. And you understand these unique gifts are your unique gifts, and they're for your sole purpose, you know. And these gifts open doors that have been closed before as well. And it's all about, you know, being the real you in a world where others, you know, might not get you. It's about being that authentic you, no matter what comes your way. Judgment, rejection, jealousy, fear, you know, from others. No matter what comes your way, it's about being the real, authentic you. And it's all about being brave enough to live your life the way you want, the way that spirit also wants, you know, because this path, it's divinely guided. So, you know, that's the trajectory you're on when you're on a spiritual awakening path. It's divinely guided, you know. And it's also about being that inspiration for others, to release their fear, you know, to look outside themselves and to reach further and further, you know, for themselves. And yeah, it's that inspiration for others around you, and wanting that for others, you know, in a world where people are quite jealous of each other, and they want what others have got. This card is about wanting that for others. You know, what you've achieved, what you've achieved in life, how you've come to this light of yourself. You know, the true authentic light inside you, not the light that not the self before the light, you know, the true authentic soul self of you. You know, how you've achieved this. You want this for others. That's a Lightworker's path. We don't understand jealousy. We don't understand, you know, the rejection. We don't think that way. Our light is too bright for that. We want what for others, what we have managed to heal in ourselves, and we want that for others. You know, that's a true Lightworker. a genuine light worker that wants what they've gained for you know, through doing the healing for others, you know, because Spirit's saying we can all live in our authenticity, and through that authenticity and daring to, you know, be that real authentic you, you then uncover more light inside of you, and that's when you start attracting things towards you, you know, whether that's abundance in material gains or abundance in relationships. Abundance is abundance, you know, and we all, it's our birthright is abundance. It's our, you know, it's our actual birthright. We are not meant to live in lack and scarcity. And, you know, when you're on this path and you find your sun and you find the light, that's when you can start bringing that knowing of the abundance, you know, towards you. So, yeah, you will reach out to people, you know, in this light. You're not meant to keep it to yourself. Spirit's saying, all the work that I've done for many, many years now, and all the heartache I've been through, and all the healing of my wounds and my traumas has brought me to shine this light for others. It's not to be kept to self, you know. This light that is so bright, it isn't just, you know, for me. It's not just for me. I've got to shine this light. I've always known there was a bigger purpose for me going through what I've gone through, you know, on my twin flame journey. Because a light that bright needs to shine for others, you know. Spirit don't want you keeping that to yourself. It's impossible to keep it to yourself. When you live in, you know, your true authentic self, you want that for others. You want that love. You want that compassion. You want that. You want others to feel what you feel on this journey. Now you're through, you know, the healing of your wounds. You want others to have that feeling, that freedom. You want others to have that freedom, and you want them to find their light as well. You know, and you want them to find the truth that's been kept from us, that's been suppressing us. You want them to find that truth in themselves. You know, and yeah, going back to Mary Magdalene, I'm on the rose lineage path. I am following the rose path. I am on the rose path. That is my divine, you know, my knowing of myself, the rose path, twin flame. These are all remembrances that have come back to me through my healing of my wounds. You know, it's daring to be that true, authentic you in a world that can, yeah, be very judgmental of others and others shining their light, you know. But yeah, it's about not shrinking yourself to make others feel better. And it's about making that change, you know, daring to be the change the world needs. And yeah, it's about being brave, and it's about being strong and willing, you know, to do the healing in you, you know, so you can uncover this light inside you. Then you can shine that light for others. You know, you've got to be willing on this path to do the work. It's a lot of spiritual, deep inner healing work, you know. And if you're on the twin flame path, it's yeah, it's a roller coaster ride. Let's just say that, you know. But it's about making a difference and being willing to put yourself, you know, on the line as well. Being willing to bear everything, bear it all, you know. Yeah, being willing to be criticised by others as well. Many times I've been criticised on this path. And I understand why. I don't retaliate, you know. Because that's not my energy. My energy is the light, you know. This is my vibration. Now, if I retaliate and if I, yeah, you know, fight back with fire, hence fire. I did a post the other day saying I don't fight fire with fire. I fight fire with love. Because when you're in this light, that is all your vibration can be, is love. unconditional love. So unconditional love is no matter what, you know, it's not putting conditions on it, you know, like you give me something, I'll give you something back. That's not love. That's putting conditions on love, you know. Yeah, I don't fight fire with fire. I fight fire with love. That's my energy. That's my vibration. That's the light. That's why I'm here. That's my purpose. You know, to show others that they don't have to fight fire with fire too. You can fight fire with love, you know. And then that starts a little ripple, you know. But you show somebody compassion, you show somebody love. That ripples. And in time, you know, that ripples for all the world. As big as that sounds, it does. Yeah. And that's how you cause a change, Spirit's saying. That is how the change happens. If somebody is willing to put themselves out there, be brave, be strong, be who they truly are, their true authentic self in a world that's quite judgmental of people and will criticise others if they don't understand it. That's what Spirit's saying. That's what makes the change, you know. And yeah, it's about not suppressing your light, you know. And it's about creating, you know, that balance also, you know. So when you find this light and you've done the work and you've been on the journey that I've been on, it's about you know, that balance of you can shine your light, but not from an ego place. You know, you've raised your vibration, but you've been, you know, you've been to hell and back. Let's put it that way. It's a journey for the strongest. Twin flame is definitely, without a doubt, and that's my path that I happen to be on. But among this path, you know, other things come back to you. You know, the knowing of my rose path, my divine feminine high master path, my Lemurian past life. You know, you've got many things that come at you on this path. And yeah, your ego, if you've not healed your ego or not healed it but balanced it, then yeah, your ego could probably get the better of you. But when you're in this light, ego, yeah, let's just say it's balanced. You know, so it's about that. I'll just get the channeled writing that I did before coming on. So yeah, I chose a while back never to dim my light for anyone, no matter what. You know, and this means no matter what comments I receive on this channel, no matter what rejection I receive from others. That also includes family and friends. I have had it all slung at me on this path, and I've been on it 7 years or more, and that's a long time, you know, to be on a path of awakening. But it's called awakening for a reason, you know. It takes time to awaken to your light. But yeah, I made, when I started this channel, yeah, I decided not to dim my light anymore. I decided to, you know, it doesn't matter what comments I receive. It doesn't matter what people want to think. It does not matter. All that matters is I know my true authentic self, and I know, you know, I'm here for a purpose, to help others and guide others. And yeah, and once you know that about yourself and your true authenticity and you know, your true soul self comes back, it doesn't matter what others think or say. And that's family and friends also, because I get it from them as well. And that's fine. I don't judge them for it. They should not judge me for my path. And I've spoken that out many times to others. Don't judge a person's path, you know. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they've been through. Their path is their path, and it's their path solely, you know. And this path has been so hard for me, twin flame path. I've been through through a lot of confusion. I've been to hell and back. That's no word of lie. Amongst that, I've also had judgments and rejections from family, friends. And, you know, that's hurtful in itself. But every step of the way, I knew I was on this path, and I knew that that rejection and the jealousy and things like that, you know, coming from outsiders, was all building me up to be stronger, to where I was truly meant to, you know, be at, you know. And I started a candle business from the beginning of my awakening. And I always remember saying, it's not about candles. This path is not about candles. And, you know, I always remember my partner's, comment, you know, what are you on about now, you know, all that would get thrown at us. But again, I knew back then, 7 years ago, this path was leading me into something more than just starting a candle business, which was really hard in itself, because I'd never made a candle before in my life, and I've built a very successful business now making them. But again, divinely guided, you know. Candles are spiritual. I knew when the downloads was coming through that candles had the spiritual, you know, meaning to my path. It wasn't just that Ellie wanted to make a candle and that was it. No, I knew that these candles would be helping others and healing others, and you know, but I also knew this path was bigger, not in an egotistical way, but I knew soul level that it was leading me to, my true purpose, my true soul purpose, and it wasn't just about candles, is what I was saying. 7 years down the line, it's all come true, what I said. And now my partner's a bit more, you know. But you're going to get that rejection. You're going to get that criticism. Because nobody can understand your path. Nobody can feel what you feel from spirit. Nobody. And that's another thing I said to myself, you know, a long time ago. You can't expect others to understand, you know, what's just solely meant for you. This is an individual path you are walking. Your gifts are individual. There's many light workers out there doing their thing for the earth, you know, for Mother Gaia, for Earth's frequency, for others. But their gifts are individual, you know, they're not the same as mine, and mine aren't the same as theirs. But, you know, we hold that light in us, and that's returned back to us through our healing. You know, it's an hard journey for light workers. It's not an easy path for twin flames or, you know, light workers, light seeds. What people don't see, they might see our light, but they don't see all the dark that we have to go through, and healing, and the wounds and the trauma prior to this light shining through us. You know, we have to face very hard times. That's our family, friends, judgment from others, criticism. We go to hell and back on this path, and it's all to shine our light for others, you know. And yeah, find that light in ourselves, what we lost in our human, you know, having our human experience. We had to find that light back, that's our true soul essence. It's returned to us through all that hard work and the healing that we've had to, you know, do. So yeah, so I'll get back to the channeling. So this message has been coming through from Spirit for a few days. And never dim your light for others. Shine it brighter than ever. To dim your light is spiritual abandonment. And choose this path. And I chose this path to return fragments of my soul back to myself. I have remembrance of what I truly am, my soul self. So by healing my wounds and trauma and going into my shadows, I have now returned back to my true divine sovereignty. That came through just before coming online. So yeah, you know, by healing your light and your wounds and all your traumas, you do return back to your soul self, to your light essence that's always been inside of you. But this journey that we're on, this human journey, this experience on earth, we had to remember that. That was our wounds, that was our healing, that was our traumas. All the remembrance that comes back to us when we start healing them returns our light to us. And, you know, yeah, that's the path of a light worker. So the light that you see in a light worker, and you think it's so easy for us to shine, it's not. The light worker's path and twin flame's path, starseed's path, is a path of pure resilience, strength, courage, going against all beliefs that have been known to you, you know, from childhood and past lives, ancestral even, ancestral. I get a lot of ancestral coming through to me. And I know, you know, I know why, because I've had to heal my ancestral wounds, the wounds that my ancestors couldn't heal. I was the one that was chosen for my ancestral line to heal these wounds. I was the strong soul that was chosen to do that, you know, for my family line. And that's why I get a lot of ancestral, you know, things coming through to me. I understand it all. I understand my path. There's no doubt. There's no, you know, still I'm on this path. You know, I'll be on this path for life now, you know. I am a spiritual leader. I am a high master. Yeah, my light will never be dimmed again. It can't be. I've worked too hard, you know, to shine this light, and it will only get brighter and brighter and brighter. And the more people criticise, and the more people, yeah, you know, don't understand. That's fine. I'm completely fine with that. I don't judge anybody else for not understanding my path. I don't expect them to. But yeah, you know, I want this light inside me now won't ever be dimmed. It's too bright, you know, to dim. It's cracked open, so to speak, you know. I'm cracked open. But yeah, light workers light. Others may try to dim our light, because now, you know, a light worker's light shines that bright, and like I've just been saying, it can reflect in others, you know, what they're not ready to see in themselves, what they're not ready to heal in themselves. You know, that's what light workers do. We can bring up others' internal fears and unhealed wounds, and our light can act as a mirror, you know, and it reflects the dark shadows that need to be healed in others. Now, dark shadows, not meaning anything that like that person's bad, because I don't believe there's you know, shadows that can't be healed. Everybody can heal themselves if they really truly want to, you know. We've all got that inside us to do our healing, and yeah, shine our light. But yeah, we light workers, we're a mirror. I did this post the other day as well. We're a mirror. Twin flames are mirrors. That's the catalyst, you know, to set you on your twin flame path. We act as that mirror, and we shine everything good, but then we also shine everything not so good, you know. We shine the light and the dark at each other. And yeah, what needs healing? Those wounds that have been long hidden, you know, it's ready to heal. And so yeah, light workers, you know, they hold sacred knowledge too, you know, and that can trigger others, because when you get to this stage of your journey and your light is that bright, you do trigger others. I spoke about this as well. I'm meant to trigger others, and that trigger then causes a shift, you know. It causes yeah, me living in my true authenticity and my soul essence causes that, you know, that shift to happen in another. So me acting as my twin flames mirror then causes, you know, them to reflect on the wounds and the healings they have it inside them, you know, to heal, and that, and vice versa. My twin flame also reflected back at me my shadows and the healing and the wounds that I needed to do. And that's what it is. We're catalysts for each other's healing. You know, that's what twin flames are. And we're meant to do that. We're meant to trigger each other. And we're meant to do that because Spirit wants us shining our light. Because our divine blueprint is light. You know? So Spirit wants to return that back to us through all the healing and, you know, the healing of the trauma and things like that from past lives and stuff. It's time to return to us, you know, those fragments that we've lost through each lifetime. It returns to you when it's ready, you know. And this lifetime for me is my, it's the returning of my remembrance of my past lives, also the remembrance of me being in the Mary Magdalene and the Rose lineage path and being part of you know, that path, and the remembrance of my twin flame and the remembrance of my Lemurian past life and also Egyptian. You know, it keeps coming back bit by bit to me, fragments of myself that I've lost over lifetimes into this lifetime, because this is the lifetime I'm meant to shine my light, you know. So this is the lifetime I've had to do that healing of the wounds and the ancestral wounds, and yeah, the traumas, to you know, break free from, you know, all of that myself, to shine a light for others. And, you know, Spirit understands it might seem strange to some, and they might not understand. And I understand that completely, and I don't judge others for not understanding this path. But a light worker has that much light, you know, they can touch others' spiritual wounds as well. So what they've been trying to suppress also, you know, we are that, I don't want to use the word powerful, but yeah, it's very powerful. I've seen the effect I have on others. In my, you know, my Reiki practices I do, in my light language, or just in conversations with family, friends, I've seen the effect that my light has on others. It's because I've done that work to heal myself, and it's because it was a divinely guided path for me to find my light again, you know, to shine for others, because the world needs it. So yeah, light workers, they understand, you know, it's not a reflection on them, it's the effect that you have, you know. So when I trigger somebody, I don't go, oh no, what have I done? I'll go, okay, so that I've triggered something in that person, you know, that's made them feel uneasy, and that, and the spiritual wounds, you know. So I see past that, you know, because yeah, it's that sacred knowledge inside me as well. So when I trigger somebody, I understand it's not me, it's, I'm meant to, you know. I'm meant to be that catalyst, you know, for them to look inside themselves and start their healing. That's what light workers do as well, you know. Can awaken people up to their own healing. But yeah, so they want me to speak about this card now, which I felt drawn to do also out of my Rose Oracle deck even, and it's called After the Rain. Now, this card, it's silver lining, relief, hope, mercy, it's over, acceptance. Now, I've just spoke a little bit about how hard my path's been these last, 7 years, whatever, or more. And I am now at the stage of the sun. But I was in the rain, you know, for many years. Yeah, let's just say that rain kept pouring. There was no sunshine at first. Until I'd done the healing, there was no sunshine. There was a lot of dark times for me. Have been a lot of dark times for me. But even in those dark times, even in that rain pouring, that storm that I felt I was in, I knew the sun was coming, because I knew something this powerful and this painful, like the twin flame path and everything that you go through on it, was all heading me to something, yeah, let's just say, not just for myself but for others, you know. It had to mean something. There was meanings behind it, and when you're on this path as well, you know, you're guarded. There's no escaping that. You feel the divine. You feel your angels. You know, you hear them. I get visions. You know, clairaudience, clairvoyance. I get all of that. Especially now I've raised my vibration to be this light. All my gifts, you know, they've returned and come back, and I'm still uncovering more gifts. You know, so it's a continuous path. It's a path for life. So yeah, my gifts are only going to get stronger and more brighter. So this card, it's so accurate, you know. It's about when it stops raining, and it's about when the earth has been cleansed and nourished. And it's about, you know, that cleansing and that nourishment that I gave to myself. So the cleansing, the purging, the clearing out, that was all the healing of my wounds. That was all the cleansing and clearing of my chakras, you know, the kundalini, the dark night. They're all cleansing, purging, clearing out your system, you know, your bodily system, you know, your chakras, your energy centers, you know, it's all that. So you're cleansing and then you're nourishing yourself, you know. So the nourishment on my path, it's my spiritual practice. It's working with crystals, it's plants, it's being in nature, it's taking a salt bath. It doesn't have to be nothing extravagant. It's going to a yoga class or doing yoga in my bedroom. It's chanting, it's playing my singing bowls, it's reading a book. Spirit's saying whatever nourishes your soul, you know, then it's for you. What you get pleasure and joy out of and healing, then it's for you. You know, we're all individuals, Spirit's saying. So, yeah, you know, so it's similar to, say, like when we stop crying, Spirit's saying. It's things that once took us down, you know. So when you stop crying, say like you felt like you've been crying for forever and ever and ever, you know, and then that crying stops, you know, you just feel energetically cleansed, you know. You feel that cleansing, you feel that that life returning back to you, you know, that hope, that relief. I've always spoken about when you cry. I've always let myself cry as well. Now some people, they're like, oh, I can't cry, I don't want to cry. I say to people, especially in my my Reiki practices, cry, because crying is just another form of moving stagnant energy out of our body. You know, it's that energy that needs to be removed. It's what you've been suppressing. It needs to be removed. It needs to be cleansed. It needs to be cleared out. You know, so I love a good cry. Yeah, and I just know I'm moving energy, stagnant energy that needs to be, you know, removed and making way for the sun, you know, after the rain. So yeah, it speaks of growth, and it's all about emotions that have been soothed, you know. So this card, it's all about that silver lining that's coming. You know, you've been through the worst, you've had the rain, the rain stopped and now the sun is out. And this card speaks of, you know, you've come through very, very hard times and the universe has tested you, but now, you know, smooth seas are here, you know. I mean, look at this card. She's that rainbow. She's got the full spectrum going through her. She's shining the full spectrum of her light, you know, for others. Look how peaceful, you know. She's on the smooth seas now, you know. There's no storm. The light's there, you know, even for her, you know. But the light's there for her, so she can shine that light for others. You know, the light's coming from the divine, right through a crown, you know. Look at that light shining right down on her. That's the divine protecting and guiding her every step of this journey. You know? That's that heavenly light, they're saying. But that spectrum, she's not just one colour now, she's all colours of the rainbow. She can finally shine all these colours, you know, that full brightness in her, you know. She can shine that for the world now. And this card speaks of you've grown so much from these hard times, and new beginnings are here now. You know, that's what this card is. You've gone through the worst. You're never going to feel that again. You're shining your light too bright now, and yeah, all this rain, you know, that you went through, it was all for the sun, you know, for the sun to come out in your life, and all your hardships to stop, and all your wounds to be healed, and your traumas. Yeah, all that rain was just to get you to the sun. And, you know, that's the knowing I've always had from day one of my journey. I knew that a path this hard and a path this testing, like the twin flame path, and all the battles I've had to face on it, the battles of my mind, you know, my ego mind, the battles with others, my family, my friends. I knew it was just so leading me into a brighter path, you know, for myself, but also for others. It had meaning, is what I'm saying. I knew there was a high purpose. You just know, because you're guided. You feel spirit around you all the time. It's knowing, is what I say to people when they ask me. I can't explain it. It's a knowing, and yeah, you know, the signs and the synchronicities from spirit. You know that they're not coincidences. There's no coincidence on this path whatsoever. But it's a definite knowing of, you know, your true divine purpose, you know, once you're at this stage. But yeah, you have to go through this, all the rain, to get to the sun. And I think that is it. Yep. That is it. I shall leave it there, and I hope you all had a lovely Halloween. And I haven't forgot about the Halloween video with the, you know, the Reiki and the candle and the light language. I will be doing that, but yeah, I've had to lay my dear mum to rest. You know, over a weekend, and spend time with my family and my sisters, and yeah, it was lovely. It was a really lovely service, you know, and I think we did mum proud, and she deserved it, you know. She was the best mum. I know everyone says that about the mums, but honestly, I couldn't ask for a better mum. She showed me love. She gave me joy, you know, compassion. She gave me all these qualities that I hold inside myself. She showed me what it is to love others unconditionally. Yeah, you know, she showed me to be the person I am, you know, to others. and show that kindness, you know, and love, even when you don't get that back from others. She showed me, you know, to show that to others, and that's what makes a change, you know. Speak a kind word, think kind thoughts. That's what makes a change. Little things like that can ripple through and make that change, you know. And before you know it, that keeps, yeah, it keeps making that change to others in the world. Little ripples. I always say little acorns grow big trees, you know, and you throw a stone into a pond and then that ripples out and that love starts spreading out. Yeah, but I think that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this channeling. Oh, excuse me, it's been a tiring weekend. I hope you enjoyed this channeling from Spirit. But yeah, don't dim your light for nobody, you know. If you've got that light, and every one of us has light inside of us, it needs to shine, not just for yourself but for others. And yeah, Spirit's saying don't dim your light for others. And that's one thing kept coming through very, very clearly. And I knew, you know, I know this is how it works. This is what I'm saying. It's a knowing. And I just guided to go certain decks, and you know, cards come out, and yeah, you know, and so on. There's no coincidences. It's all guarded. So I shall go now and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll speak to you all soon.